Hi everyone, this is Brett over at Next. I have a super exciting feature that I want to share with you that we just rolled out today called detail boxes. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing you'll notice is that now when you hover over your name, you can see that we have something called property details setup. And what this does is it takes you to a page where you can now see that we have the different types, listings, pendings, pending sellers, pending dual, and other. And before, when you would go to a property like this one, and we click on details, and you see all these boxes here, this was a fixed list of boxes that you could not change. And everything just had to be manually inputted. And the goal was to change that to where, number one, you could create your own boxes. Number two, they would autofill based on what your action plan was built upon. So that's what we finally have done and rolled out for you. So let's go back here into our detail setup. And here's where you can go through each one of these categories and decide what metrics are important for me. So let's go ahead and do a pending buyer one. When you click here, you'll see that first we have our default list. You can go into any of these different boxes and you can change the visibility of them. So if you want to change them to hide, you can do that. It's really simple, and then it'll no longer show that buyer box. We'll bring that one back. All right. You can also create one. So if I want to create a box that is called, let's see, final walkthrough. And this is going to be a date. So we can choose between a text. So if you want to track, say the name of the agent you're working with or some sort of a text field, you can do that, currency or date. If you choose a date, then you can actually link a task to it, which is very cool. And I'll show you how that works. So we'll click submit. And we can also, as we build out these different boxes, we can drag and drop them to change the order. So if we want to put the final walkthrough up here above the closing date, we can do that as well. And if you want to delete one of your custom detail boxes, you can do that using this little trash can over here. So now that we have our custom list, our next step is to go in and select our action plans. And we have to then tie each action plan to one of those types. So before, the type was independent of the action plan, but in order to avoid having 50 custom fields, 10 of them that really apply to each different type, we have to now link these processes or these action plans to a type. And if you use the same action plan with two different types, you can just make a copy of that plan and use one for buyers and one for sellers or something like that. So we'll go down in here to just do a cash closing plan, and you'll see we get this prompt. So we have to go in here and we'll select that this action plan, which is a buyer cash closing, belongs to pending buyer, and then we'll click on submit, and it's that simple. And if we ever want to change this in the future, we just go in here to edit plan and change type. Now that we have our plans, we can start linking any of these tasks to our detail boxes. So let's go down and find the one for schedule our final walkthrough. Let's see where that is. Schedule final walkthrough. And you'll note that any regular task or dependent task now has this option where we can link it to a detail box. So we're going to come down here. We're going to take the final walkthrough as our detail box. I'm going to click on update task. Okay. And then you'll also notice on the right-hand side that there's now where you can see our detail boxes and what is linked and what is not linked. Now, each task can be linked to one detail box at a time. So if I want to go down here and take the, deliver inspection findings addendum, and we're going to make this, let's see, we'll connect that to the inspection contingency deadline. This is another custom box that I created. We can take a dependent task and we can link that to the inspection seller response. And as we go through and start adding these, you'll see that our detail boxes will continue to populate until we're out. Okay, so now that we've updated our action plan, we've updated our detail boxes, let's go ahead and put this plan into action on a property and show you how it works. So let's go back here to tasks, and I'm just going to fly through this. Add a new property, 345 detail box lane. And once we select our type, then it'll give us the list of tasks that actually are tied to that. So if you're not finding your plan in this list, chances are you need to go to the plans page and associate it with a type. So we'll go ahead and use this cash closing plan. We'll use our start date and our end dates, and we'll click on add a property. But we can update our key dates. We can update all of our tasks, add our transaction parties. I'm just going to breeze through this, click on launch property. And now we've entered into our typical, let's work on what's due today, past due, no due date, those sorts of things. You'll also see that the detail boxes are carried through here. And if we go to our detail page, all of our dates are automatically populating. If we have something that's a dependent task, it'll have the approximately here, just so they know that that could change. The next really cool feature is, so for example, inspection contingency deadline. We can go back into our tasks, and most of us use an email like this that's called key dates and deadlines, and we can start inputting all of those detail boxes. So I'll just start typing inspections. We have our seller response, and we can do final walkthrough, property final walkthrough, and start populating all that information in. And again, we can do this in our plans setup page. I'm just showing you how to do it from here. And we go down here to preview it. All of those dates are going to automatically populate, which is super cool and saves you time. So there is a method to the madness, but that's how it works. So pretty much, 3 steps: associate your action plans with a type, go into your property details and set up each one of these for what you want to track. And then when you create your custom emails or custom SMSs, messages, you can now easily apply all of the dates or the text or whatever you want directly into your emails. Very cool. One more thing that's coming, just as a little teaser, you'll also soon be able to go into each one of these sections, so pending buyers, and you'll be able to change what you want to have displayed per type. So if you want to show the inspections here, you can do that. If you want to show who the agent is that you're supporting, if you're a transaction coordinator, you could do that here. In each section, you'll be able to edit to show what information you want to track. So a lot of good stuff coming. Hope you enjoy this new feature. If you have any questions or if you want to give any comments, feel free to chat with us and share any feedback you have. Thanks so much.